Where's the name Gilgadane from? There's full water all down my face. Okay, so when I was a kid, Jeff keeps calling the server Gilgamesh. It's funny you say that. So my original RuneScape account way back in the day, settle down. This is a story. This is a tale as old as time. We're gonna clip this. We're gonna ship this. When I was a kid, I lost my original. Oh fuck! My earring just fell out. Bruv. I lost my original RuneScape account, which was called Magical Chav, and I made that with my brother when he was making his account MC on Fire. We were sick as fuck. We were so cool. When I was a kid during the war, I was called Magical Chav, and I lost that account because I gave my password to my RuneScape girlfriend, and I never saw that account again. And I cried, and I got banned from RuneScape because I was crying over a game. Fast forward a few years, and I come back to RuneScape. I've got a computer in my room now. I'm not just playing on a family computer, and I come back to RuneScape. This is before I know about World of Warcraft or anything. Come back to RuneScape, and I'm like, oh, I need a name. And I love this game, Final Fantasy VII. So I picked up the box for Final Fantasy VII, and I thought, Sephiroth is the coolest character ever. Bear in mind, I'm like 6, 7 years old. I'm little. I'm a kid. I'm a baby at this point. And I think Sephiroth is just so cool. I'm going to be called Sephiroth. So as a kid, I tried to spell out Sephiroth. I picked up the box and I was looking back and forth, and his name wasn't on there anywhere. And I looked in the manual and it wasn't in there either. So I put together my best approximation of the name Sephiroth. I'm going to type it in chat here. So obviously, Seth. S-E-T, of course. But then where does the Iroth come from? So we got Seth Iroth. So that was my name. I called myself Cedroth. And that stuck. I was Cetroth for years. That was my name on RuneScape. That was my name on WoW. My hunter, my hunter to this day is still called Cetroth. My old account on RuneScape, fucking everywhere, I was Cetroth. And obviously that's unpronounceable. And I only realized it's a pretty solid name. I only realized it was unpronounceable when I started raiding in WoW in Mr. Pandaria. That was like fucking, when was Mr. Pandaria released? It must have been like 2012, 2013. I realized it was unpronounceable because nobody in my guild could remember it. So they just called me either by my real name or by like, they called me like Set or something. And eventually I was playing League of Legends and I thought, this name is stupid. I need a different fucking name. And just like that kid, and bear in mind, I was like 15, 16, and I was like, I'm going to become a League of Legends professional player. I need a name that I'm happy to hear them calling out in the stadium. It needs to be cool. It needs to strike fear into my opponents. So once again, I turned to where else but Final Fantasy. And by that point, you know, I'd grown up a bit. My tastes had refined a bit. I was no longer just an FF7 kid. My favourite game of all time remains, to this day, Final Fantasy IX. And I love the character Zidane. He's got a fantastic story. In fact, I identify with it quite a lot because you go through a lot of your life and find out you're not who you think you are. That meant a lot to me, and it still does. And that's, you know, something for another time. That's a story for a completely different time. But I love the character Zidane, but my favourite character from all of Final Fantasy is Gilgamesh, who appears in a lot of the games. And I love the idea of the Epic of Gilgamesh as this first story that we have written down, this first written story that we have from Sumeria. So I just took the two names, Gilgamesh and Zidane, I smacked them together. You got Gilgi, you got Dane, you got Gilgadane. And the name stuck. I tried changing it a few years back. I tried changing to Defrii, Defrii, which was cool, and I thought it was cute. And I ran with it for all of 6 months before I just went back to Gilgadane. And I think the unfortunate thing is that Gilgadane is just stuck forever. It's like my forever name, you know? I picked it when I was 15, and I'm never going to escape from it. And that is the story of how I got the name Gilgadane. Gonna extract that, highlight it, fucking smack it on the channel. So you were almost called Zamesh. If that is what you're taking from the story, then yes. I was almost called Zamesh. That name goes hard, actually. That's my villain name. I change username like every 8 months. I just couldn't. I just find that really confusing and annoying. Way better to be online. I just like having the one name and then making a play on it. Like a lot of my WoW characters that I made had names that were like plays on Defrii. So my undead priest is Dead Pre. Idiot. Way better to be online. I don't really care about my online footprint, you know? I'm not that worried. People are gonna find me, whatever. I was Ellie Emporium until early this year. That's a cool name. I like it. I rate that. That's cool. Sheba Rain. Whoa. It sounds almost like you're into NFTs these days, unfortunately. Kind of hate that that's how it is. I don't make the rules. That one would have aged badly, yeah. I mean, imagine if I'd stuck with Cetroth. Imagine if you were in the Cetro Den. To this day, I could still be Cetroth. My first RuneScape name was Blue Wolf 63. That's fucking hardcore, dude. That's awesome. I've never been very imaginative. Blue Wolf 63 is really cool. I like that. The Cetro Den sounds like kind of like a fire nightclub. Maybe that's Gilgaden by night, the Cetro Den. I think the thing that these days I would never go back to. I'd never go back to Cetroth. I'd go back to Magical Chav because that's funny. But I don't think I'd ever go back to Cetroth. I was cool guy. Ellie. Ellie. I was cool guy 654 as a child. You were cool. You had the coolest name. Cool guy 654. That goes hard.